In a long list of inconvenient old video clips from the Queen of Cool, this was among the most damaging.
Age is more than a chronological fact. What else do we know about this population, 18 through 24? They are stupid. That is why we put them in dormitories, and they have a resident assistant. They make really bad decisions.
Well, maybe they were listening, because compared to where Joe Biden was with voters under 30 back in 2020, Kamala is trailing by 12 points. And the news is only slightly less bad with black voters. She's down 10 points from Biden. And with Latino voters, she fell off by 6. Joining us now, Ari Fleischer, former White House press secretary, Fox News contributor, Chris Bedford, author of the Beltway Brief newsletter. Ari, what happened to the Cool Stepmoms coalition?
Well, Donald Trump happened. That's what's going on. That's changed the American electorate. Donald Trump is indeed doing better with African-American voters, Hispanic voters. I predict to you, Lori, he's going to do slightly better with Jewish voters than he did in 2020 or in 2016 when he won. The group, on the other hand, though, that you have to watch out for are college-educated women, particularly in the suburbs. Donald Trump has got to do better with them than he did in 2020. That's the one group I'll give an advantage to the Democrats on compared to how Trump previously did. But Donald Trump's inroads with groups that typically don't look like Republicans are real and they're lasting, and that is one of his biggest factors going into this election.
Yeah, I think they're trying to maybe, Chris, get such a big banked percentage with male voters that'll swamp the gender gap. But I think when you see Trump in these smaller events, when he's just like mixing it up with people, I think he should do more of that and focus on the issues that women care about: their family, their safety, their pocketbook. And, you know, on the abortion issue, you know, the states will decide that. But in the primary issues that people care about most, I think Trump should just do a lot of, you know, outreach among female voters. And I think he actually will do better than a lot of people believe.
Yeah, he's a very actually mobile candidate or changeable candidate for a 78-year-old billionaire. Usually you don't get folks being willing to change that much. But Donald Trump, one of the things that his campaign has pushed, I think has had a lot of success in this, is portraying him as a family man, as a grandfather. Some of those advertisements have been put out, some of the more heartwarming ones. His relationship with his grandchildren, his closeness with his family is something that's kind of softened the edges around a person who's made a career for 40 years of being a pretty brash New York businessman. Now he's kind of tacking away differently to that, toning down some of the attacks. But at the same time, Kamala Harris's campaign is not speaking to the men that she has lost very much. Even though there's a lot more energy than there was under Joe Biden, it's basically reaching out to college-educated white women, and that's the coalition that she's going to have to grow if she wants to win. It's going to be interesting if you end up with the first female black president in the United States, but she was put there by a white college-educated coalition because she couldn't even get the black and Hispanic votes that her predecessor got.
Well, the media, by the way, are begging, meanwhile, for Kamala not to talk policy, guys. Look at this from the New Republic. Kamala Harris doesn't need policy to win. In fact, a detailed platform will hurt her campaign more than it will help. Ari, I've seen a lot from a media without any credibility, but this one kind of takes the cake.
Yeah, they're in the tank. They're in the tank's tank. They're that deep. I've come to the conclusion that there's only two things that the press is interested in this election. One is they want abortion to be legal, and two, they want to defeat Donald Trump. That's all they need. If Kamala Harris can deliver those two, that's good enough for them, and they don't have to interview her. They don't have to ask her tough questions about policy. They don't have to see what she would do for America and the world if she were elected president, the way the press has always tried to do its job. This is how deep the press is in the tank, and it's just over those two issues. Defeat Donald Trump, keep abortion legal, and everything else is fine. That's America's press corps today.
Wow.
And that's the Democrat vote for Harris, too.
Well, Chris, talk about a cynical, sad, dark vision of the country, that it's about your derangement about Donald Trump, which is really transferred to the people who support him. I mean, Trump eventually will not be around in politics anymore. Then where will all their vitriol and hatred go? It'll go to the people, or whoever the next person who's a populist conservative is, but they were nasty to Romney. They were horrible to McCain. And now it's this plus abortion in all 50 states, and then they can throw a big party, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. If you say that Mitt Romney and Paul Ryan were basically the Antichrist, then it's hard to take you seriously when you attack Donald Trump. But those vibes for years and years sold. And vibes actually are really important in elections, how these candidates make you feel. Policy is often taken as a second seat. And if you see Kamala Harris's policies, some of the few things that she's put out there, they're basically just repetitions of what Donald Trump's put out there, whether it's child tax credit, no tax on tips, finish the wall, bring industry back to the United States because they don't have anything to offer. But I think that feel-good campaign is really starting to peter out. The broader electorate's paying attention now. Labor Day is over. People are back to work. And you start to see more difficult results for the Harris campaign in the state polls. She's not making the gains that she needs to. She's gained a lot since Joe Biden was there, but not enough to actually win. And Democrats are starting to panic.
Yeah, the enthusiasm gap that used to be there like a couple of weeks ago, that's gone. Trump's at 60, she's at 59, so it's basically tied there. That is not good news for Kamala Harris after the Labor Day holiday. Ari and Chris, thank you both.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.